So today we're going to go over updates to the implementation manual that's coming out in October 2026. So this is a heads up for the October 1st, 2027 IM. We'll be implementing a full revision to the IM after 2 years of the 3-year rate period. So it's going to fall in kind of a weird spot. So it'll include changes resulting from the ninth power plan scheduled to be published mid-rate period in 2026. And then the update will also include all the changes occurring over the previous 2 years. So it'll cover those two periods. We'll have more information and more guidance as we get closer to this, but this is just the heads up that this is going to be coming in the October 1, 2027 version.
David Lee, I'm the Agricultural and Federal Sector Lead. We just have two very minor changes for ag in this upcoming IM. We're going to remove reference to inputting information or requirement for the provisional UES input sheet. That information is going to be put in the irrigation pump testing and system analysis BPA screening tool workbook, which is also already a requirement for 761. Pretty simple change there. And then for 781, that's our agricultural energy audit screening measure. We do require the general energy audit screening tool that covers all activities, but we'll be providing supplemental information, place to gather that for very specific energy audit screening tool that the utility can use to make a decision to forward with a full on-farm audit. Again, it's optional, just an additional resource for 781. And that's all for ag.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jesse Largent. I am the commercial sector specialist working alongside the team here, and I'll be presenting for Eric today. We've got 4 measure changes that will be effective on this IM update. The first one is around our connected thermostat measure 8.4.2. We're going to remove, there was a requirement there that the thermostats return to their presets after a power outage. We found that that feature is present in every thermostat that we looked at, but wasn't really considered a feature anymore, just a given, and was really adding a lot of admin work to get them approved in our qualified product list. So we're removing that particular step, that requirement, to help expedite some approvals and move things forward a little more quickly with thermostats. The next change is for 8.7.2 vehicle engine block heater controls. There had been a requirement that they were hardwired, but after some conversations with utilities and at the request of some utilities, we are adding a REFNO under this measure that allows for a lower cost portable engine block heater. This went through the BPA qualified process, and this will allow for a non-hardwired version of these engine block heater controls at a slightly lower incentive rate, but I'll get to the details on that when we get to payments. For commercial secondary windows 8.5.3, we had originally set the one of the requirements be the center of glass U value at 0.2. This was from the RTF, but what we found is that the industry itself does not typically look at center of glass. What they look at is the holistic or whole frame U value. So it was very difficult to find center of glass U values for products. So instead, we will be shifting that requirement from center of glass to the whole frame U value of 0.45. This aligns with that metric used in the standard industry documentation, and I think will allow for the acceptance of more products more readily for commercial secondary windows as well. And then this last one, you might look at that and say, wait, that's not a commercial measure. 10.3.3 is in the industrial package, but we are adding a REFNO for the commercial sector systems. They were already used often for commercial sector systems, but we didn't have a good way to track when it was used for commercial or industrial. So we're just adding a REFNO here to help us internally keep track of when it goes into a commercial sector versus an industrial sector. No real big changes to anyone on the other end for this one. So the payments are really just for that vehicle engine block heater control, the portable one. They retail for around $150 a unit, so we're looking at a $125 per unit payment there. This is to keep a little bit of skin in the game, particularly since these are portable, but still give a good amount of incentive for the purchase of these vent engine block heaters. And the normal amount for the hardwired, I believe, is 250 or 200. So these are a little lower than what's there, but also the retail cost is a little lower as well.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Wood. I'm the Industrial Sector Program Manager, and I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Eric Mullendor. As measure changes go, we have two measure changes that we're doing. One's with the performance tracking system. We are removing the requirement that the system be owned by the end user or SIM participant. This created administrative burden to try to verify ownership of software licensing, among other things. And it also brings consistency with other measures. And then the next one is the small compressed air system. We've added language to account for isentropic efficiency in new compressors, as well as having the federal standards for isentropic efficiency act as the baseline. So we'll be creating a new, or we are creating a new version of the small compressed air calculator that will be available that incorporates all these changes. Also, too, we've got a new measure that we've added that is an industrial only BPA qualified measure, variable frequency drive or for industrial fan systems. This applies to both retrofit and new construction. It excludes refrigeration and potato and onion storage fans. However, the controlled fan motors must be less than or equal to 200 horsepower. And this applies to that new measure, and it's a streamlined measure where the payment is going to be $260 per horsepower.
Amy Burke here. I am covering for Jonathan Belmont. So I just have one update that I'm going to go over with standard residential, and then I'll cover a couple quick updates for income qualified. For standard residential, we are introducing a new measure. So not a measure change, but a new measure effective October 1. And this is for induction cooktops and ranges. Very excited about this measure. So we'll be adding this to our residential appliance portfolio. It will be supporting all heating zones, cooling zones, and residential home types. The energy savings are rather modest at 37 kilowatt hours, and the payments are also rather modest. And I'll list that on the next slide. Shatoya Parker has been spearheading this measure development, and she did work with planning to be able to offer a payment that was kind of at the highest allowable level, which was great. The cost of induction cooktops and ranges can be anywhere from $700 to $3,000. And I personally know that customers have been asking for this for a while. I have also been asking for this for a while, so very excited to see this get implemented. So the payment for that new measure will be $27 per unit. So this is income qualified specific. So just a couple updates here. So one is regarding how some payment information is listed in our measure list. So we are making some changes to the measure list that are specific to income qualification insulation, air sealing, and duct insulation. So there are no changes to payments. There are no changes to savings. It's just how it's being communicated. So the issue that we've had and has caused some confusion with both our utilities and our EKs is that for those three measures, IQ, insulation, air sealing, and duct insulation, the payments that are in the measure list list the standard income rate, and that has been a placeholder, but it's not accurate because all three of those measures are paid dollar for dollar 100%. So the proposal, after working with our systems team, is to remove the value in that payment field for those three measures, and so that field will essentially be empty. Again, no changes in how you'll be reimbursed at what level. and no changes to savings, but that's just how it'll appear in the measure list. So also a new measure coming in October. We're really excited about this one as well. So we are rolling out an income qualified single family new construction measure. These are whole home deemed measures, so there will be no audit or testing required. And we have options for 4 different states: Oregon, Montana, and Idaho, and Washington. Although for Washington, it will only be available for homes 1,500 square feet or less. It is each one of those states will have different specifications because it is based on state code, and looking at what is the what are packages of upgrades that you can complete in each one of these new construction homes. So it is do want to call out only for single family, not multifamily or manufactured homes at this time. And how this will appear in the IM is we'll actually be splitting the income qualification section into 2. So now, right now, we only have 11.9, and we'll be splitting it into our retrofit measures in 11.9.1 and then 11.9.2 for our new construction. So the payments for the new construction measures for Washington is set for all packages at $7,310. For Oregon, $6,330. And then for Montana and Idaho, which have higher potential savings, there's quite a bit of range for that. So it's anywhere from $8,600 per home to just over $25,000 per home. For Idaho, a little over $10,000 per home, up to $23,000 per home, depending on what package you choose.
So thank you very much for your time today, and reach out to your ECA if you have any questions.